I spent an entire month searching through thousands of Minecraft seeds and uncovered some of the most unbelievable stronghold, mansion, fortress, shipwreck, cave seeds. I've talked about insane seeds before, but that video doesn't even compare to the seeds we're exploring today. Real quick, we are closing in on 1 million subscribers, so if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It'll mean a ton. Okay, so we know that seeds determine what structures spawn, such as temples and villages, but why don't we take a look at times when they spawned in really interesting places? This desert temple spawned right in the middle of an ocean. This happened because an extraordinarily small desert was generated in between a mesa biome and the ocean, making this temple seed all the more rare. Speaking of water temples, in these 4 worlds, you get spawned just a few blocks away from a pool of water, all with an entire ocean monument hidden not too deep beneath it. What makes these seeds unique from your average ocean monument is how these monuments spawned in lakes, all surrounded by land, only spanning about a few hundred blocks, making these seeds the smallest pool of water an ocean monument ever spawned in before. Staying on topic of ocean monuments, this ocean monument spawned right in the middle of a stronghold, which as we can see, part of it got overtaken by its library. Turns out the guardians just want some knowledge, but as we go deeper down the stronghold, things get very interesting. I'm sure we all know mineshafts spawn deep down with chests and cave spider spawners built to protect it. Similarly, dungeons also spawn with a chest and a mob spawner to protect it, but in this incredible seed, one of the chest blocks in the dungeon got glitched and turned into a spawner. The craziest part is that the game didn't know what to do with this glitch spawner and said, let's just make it a pig spawner. So now while you fight off the skeletons to get the chest loot, we got some food to refuel. Oh no. Similarly, this seed contains not 2, but 3 different dungeons all overlapping each other, creating a tri-spawner system. This is already unbelievably rare, but if you thought 3 was the limit, then you're terribly mistaken. Because this unbelievable Minecraft seed has not 3, not 4, but 7 spawners next to each other. Multiple dungeons spawned on top of each other in the middle of a mineshaft, making this truly the most powerful XP farm. However, if you thought going down to the caves to get XP is too much, then check out this unbelievable village seed. This seed not only contains a village, but an exposed dungeon right beside it, creating a mobile XP farm. Now, if you thought any of those previous seeds were cool, don't worry, we haven't even scratched the surface of rare seeds. Now, why don't we explore some pretty unusual stronghold seeds? This stronghold at first glance looks like any ocean exposed stronghold until you realize that this stronghold only has 1 room. That's right, this stronghold only has a staircase that leads up to the portal room, making it Minecraft's smallest stronghold. What's crazier is how high up it spawns, just barely submerging the ocean. Speaking of exposed strongholds, this stronghold spawns so high up on the surface that its library is completely exposed to the surface. But this is nothing. This stronghold has not 1, but 2 openings to the surface, just waiting for someone to explore it. But as we enter the stronghold looking for the end portal, things have just taken an unusual turn. I'm sure we've heard of the super rare phenomenon of a fully lit end portal, and maybe even the near impossible glitched end portal. But I can promise you've never seen a portal room like this. This end portal is all the more special as it was generated pre-activated only in certain positions, making this turbo glitch. This phenomenon occurred because when the seed was generating, the programmer drank soy sauce for breakfast. We've explored some 1 in a trillion stronghold and dungeon seeds, but why don't we enter the glitch portal and explore some end dimension seeds? In this end city seed, by teleporting to these 3 locations, you will find 3 absolutely identical end cities. By standing in this one spot, it's possible to see all 3 cities. Now this is rare enough, but if you end up defeating the dragon and make your way to the end city on this seed, you will be spawned right on top of the end ship, getting an instant elytra. That's what I call an easy way out. Before we explore Minecraft's craziest cave possibly generated, let's go back to the surface and explore some weird structure seeds. Some of you might be familiar with seeds that have super tall cactuses stacking on top of each other. Now that's rare, but check this out. You see, this seed generated 5 dead bushes naturally next to each other. This is just the beginning. Wait till me and the homies find a seed with 30 dead bushes. This seed also generated an ice spike biome right next to a badlands biome, which are Minecraft's 2 most rarest biomes. Okay, so we explored some rare structures, but let's explore some tiny structure seeds, such as this ocean seed where only 23 blocks of this entire ocean is classified as a warm ocean. And look at that, it's the tiniest coral reef I've seen in a while. How are these goldfish even gonna survive? Similarly, on these 2 seeds, the trees spawn right on on top of a few pieces of suspended dirt. Look at them just completely ignoring soil nutrients and the laws of physics. Aren't you afraid you're gonna fall over? Oh wait, this is a game where trees float. Before we check out Minecraft's most insane caves and cliffs, here's some seed facts that will wet anyone's pants. In a chunk, usually one cluster of diamonds can spawn at a time. These clusters range from 3 to 8 diamonds, but did you know that it's possible to get a vein of diamond that's much more than 8? On this seed, 2 clusters of diamonds spawn at the border of the chunks, combining a grand total of 14 diamonds in one vein. On the topic of diamonds, on this seed in a nether fortress, you can find 6 total diamonds and a saddle in a loot chest, and as we all know, 6 is over 14. While we're here, why don't we explore some unbelievable nether seeds, such as this fortress seed right here. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon this nether fortress, you might notice some things are very off. Nether fortresses don't usually overlap like that. Minecraft's structure generation decided to spawn 2 nether fortresses at the exact same location, creating a dual fortress mansion. The chances of this happening is an extraordinary 1 in a trillion. You can tell that there's 2 different fortresses because random bridge overarch each other. Let's just hope the blazes from the 2 different fortresses get along with each other. Okay, let's go back to the overworld and check out some incredible tree seeds you've never seen before. At the spawn of this seed, you will find yourself looking at some boring old trees, but little do you know that you just spawned in the border of 4 different biomes, which contains all of Minecraft's overworld tree types. These 2 seeds document the tallest naturally generating birch and mushroom trees ever found by men. But most importantly, in this incredible seed, an entire forest ecosystem is enclosed by a circle of mountains, just protecting it. But this is not where the seed stopped though. This seed, wait, someone crashed the ship into an iceberg. I think the driver was trying to simulate the Titanic but failed horribly because the ship's still on the surface. Oh wait, there's a survivor. Oh my gosh, how long were you surviving here for? It must be code, right? Here, let me help you out. Oh. Mike? Staying on topic, that's not the only example of bad driving. On this seed, someone really must have been blind while driving because they somehow crashed their ship into a desert village. This ship took a complete right turn just vertically. This isn't where the reckless driving ends. On this seed, 2 different ship drivers crashed into each other on some island and flipped their ships and ended up creating some weird shipwreck hybrid. Each half of these shipwrecks are made of completely different woods, signaling that these 2 were indeed generated separately yet coincidentally right next to each other, making this all the more rare. We explored rare shipwreck generations and rare strongholds, but why don't we check out some village seeds that are just a bit terrifying? Take a look at this crazy village world. Now, if I were to tell you that this world was an actual seed, some of you might just call me crazy and say, oh, you just downloaded this from the internet. However, the description of the world said that this was not player built and glitched from an amplified world, and given that these villages span on forever, it makes this world all the more mysterious. Okay, I've been saving the best for last, but here we go. Something you might have not known is that not only do Minecraft seeds determine what blocks are generated, but they also determine what mobs generate too. Every time you load up this seed, this stronghold naturally spawns with a villager and a zombie villager hanging out at the end portal. No joke, I did not spawn these in, and I think these villagers are way too ambitious. However, back on the surface, the villagers have been plotting to climb Minecraft's tallest mountain, Mountain Oogala Balugala. This mountain is 30 times taller than Mount Everest can ever be, and it's just an incredible sight to see. While the villagers were busy climbing the mountains, their enemies, the pillager, were planning ahead. The first group of pillagers built a woodland mansion so high up, it got cut off by the world build height limit, exposing their top rooms. The brothers, however, did the complete opposite. Woodland mansions usually generate on the highest possible block and compensate the rest with a ton of cobblestone, but this is the first ever seed introducing a fully underground mansion. The chances for this to happen is unbelievably rare, as the highest block had to have been right down in a cave. The coolest part is that we can enter this mansion while we're underground in a cave. Oh, looks like no one's home, so I'm just going to explore this and just see what loot they have, given it's an underground. Oh, wait, who put all this TNT here? Wait, no! Okay, if you thought I was done with the mansion seeds, then check out this incredibly rare phenomenon. There's not 1, not 2, but 11 seeds that have the exact same 2 mansions that generate in the exact same coordinates. The structures of these seeds are all in the exact same spots, but the terrain between the 11 seeds are all different. Sometimes world generation is extremely bugged, as we can see in this cursed seed, but at times you could use this to your advantage. This seed allows you to beat Minecraft without leaving the spawn chunk, as the stronghold is right below you. But what you probably don't know is that you can actually beat this seed in only 20 seconds of spawning into this world. The game doesn't allow you to spawn on water, so they just launch you all the way thousands of blocks away from 0-0 into a fully lit end portal. And as you can see by this insane gameplay, he entered the end in only 17 seconds. That is something speedrunners cannot beat. On this seed, on a non-amplified world, this cliff generates all the way to the build limit, creating one of the most unclimbable cliffs ever. To prove this, I will demonstrate my infinite powers and attempt to climb this cliff. If the best Minecraft player ever, Dan Gaming, can't climb this, then I can confidently say that this seed is not explorable. Speaking of unexplorable worlds, why don't we take a look at some seeds that are physically impossible to beat. This seed decided to spawn you in the middle of a 1x1 pit for absolutely no reason. But unlike this weird spawn, this seed is completely unbeatable as every single end portal is cut off at the strongholds. However, if we really want to find an impossible seed, look no further than this one. This world is physically unplayable because you get spawned right in the middle of lava, and even with spawn protection, there's no ledges where you can climb onto for safety. Okay, so we already explored some impossible seeds, instantly beatable seeds, rare strongholds, tall mountains, bugged mansion generations, but have you seen these absolutely insane terrain generations? This seed has a Battlelands biome that spans the length of thousands of blocks, and in fact, this biome goes on practically forever. This seed has a dope village spawned right next to one of the coolest phenomenons I've ever witnessed. The dirt patches created one of the prettiest lakes I've ever seen, and just look at these villagers living so lavishly next to their high-class lakes. Now for Minecraft's rarest seed. If we spawn into this seed, we're greeted with perhaps the most circulous and deepest cave possible. This absurd round cave was generated completely naturally, and you can jump off all the way from the surface down to the ravine, totaling over 150 blocks of airtime. But this is nowhere as cool as this gigantic cave wonderland, where there is an entire underwater ocean, hanging mine shafts, and caves spanning over 100 blocks tall. Not only that, diamond generation is extremely different and much more exposed. These caverns are absolutely humongous, and if there's any 7 wonders of the world in Minecraft, this has to be first on the list. And that's that. That's Minecraft's rarest seeds ever explored by man. Oh wait, I didn't show you Minecraft's actually rare seeds yet? Okay, let's pull up the seed. Wait, what? Oh no! Don't tell me that's the rarest Minecraft seed. Oh, is that a stone? Oh, no!